It is Wednesday, November 19th, 2014. How are you doing today, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Coe, and this is the Sideline Bleachers Podcast. It feels so good to be back again.
Oh, hell yeah!
This is like the 30th time I've been back, quote unquote, and it feels good. Thank you. Hold the silent applause and the oxymorons. Once again, thank you for being here with us today, or with me, perhaps, your lonely voice in your head. We're talking Lakers today. As we speak, the Lakers are suiting up to play against the Rockets today. And, yeah, man, it's been a tough season, right? The Lakers did just win last night, 114-109 against the Atlanta Hawks, because, damn, beating the Atlanta Hawks is so awesome. And beating the Atlanta Hawks is just chappy great. Yeah, it's that kind of year. Let's figure out what's going on this season. Let's talk about the first, 11 games that the Lakers have played. I will go and watch this game later if there is something interesting that happens. I promise you. Because this is a Lakers versus Dwight Howard game. So if anything interesting happens, I will make a podcast tomorrow. Now, the reason I haven't been making these podcasts more consistently, I don't have the technology in my home to do these things where I can overlap the audio with each other, like overlap the different things where I can play something from a computer and have that go into the sound and, boring shit that you don't want to hear about. So who cares? But yeah, that's my poor excuse for giving you these slow, inconsistent podcasts. But I will be back full throttle right now, especially if something interesting happens, because you guys know everyone in the league has been calling Dwight Howard a pussy. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why it's happening. I don't understand, why is it all of a sudden that all of these players are calling out Dwight for being a pussy? And it's not just one guy. But let's take a step back and talk about that same situation and how it correlates with the man, the legend, the Mamba. Yes, Kobe Bryant. So if you guys remember, in like the first or second game that the Lakers played this season, it was actually the first game, they played against the Rockets. They lost that game in a pretty embarrassing fashion, 108-90. You don't want to lose by 18 points on your home floor in the very first game of the season. Now, they didn't have some people. A lot of people were injured at that time, but nonetheless. And we'll talk about the people that are back and changing this team up a little bit, if I say so myself. But there were certain elements on that Lakers team that prevented them from beating the Rockets. And probably the biggest element is that the Rockets are a lot better than the Lakers. And that's really just it. They're a lot better than the Lakers. The Lakers are a very, very less talented team than the Houston Rockets are. Now, it just sucks, and it just so happens that Dwight Howard is on the other side. The Lakers could have played any number of more talented teams, because let's be honest, there are plenty of teams in the league that are more talented than the Lakers are. But it just so happened that the very first game of the season between the Rockets and the Lakers, both of their first games, okay? This is the beginning of the season, setting the stage for the year, right? First game they play, what happens? Kobe and Dwight get into a little altercation. As Jalen Rose likes to put it, a little bit of the hold me back. But, who really knew that would snowball into this huge, big thing and phenomenon? Because if you remember that game, right, Kobe and Dwight, and let's be honest, okay? Dwight had the rebound. Kobe was right in front of him. Dwight stuck out his damn big-ass freaking elbows. I don't even want to say how, big-ass elbows, right? Because this is Dwight Howard, and he's a big dude. And look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is a big dude compared to me, right? He's like 6-something, but he's like not big compared to Dwight Howard. So we have this issue, right? And you know these guys have had this long history. Elbows. And he actually catches Kobe with an elbow. Kobe gets mad about it. They do it back and forth, and the internet blew up. Memes here and there, left and right. Oh my goodness, weren't they awesome? Like, the Lakers lost that game, but Kobe Bryant, it was like Kobe Bryant won the battle. Okay, the Lakers lost that war, but Kobe won the battle. And right now, that battle means more than that war. Do you know why? Because the Lakers were going to be bad the entire year regardless. But Kobe and Dwight going at each other, and Kobe blatantly looking at Dwight saying, I know you, you're soft. Kobe Bryant, okay, this is Kobe Bryant, called Dwight Howard soft. And you got to understand who Kobe Bryant is, because Kobe Bryant gets a lot of, let's be honest, he gets a lot of shit from a lot of people, okay? Some of it you can argue is deserved because he's a shooting guard and he puts up a lot of shots and he has this Mamba mentality and attitude that I love, and I suck up and I buy Kobe Bryant t-shirts, I'll buy not snake t-shirts because I'm not really into the whole snake thing, but I will buy something Kobe Bryant related because his brand sells this idea of try your best at all times, 24/7, focus. It's this thing. It's his brand. It's how he promotes himself. But some people don't like that. Some people think he's, faking it. It's like who doesn't do that? What professional athlete that is great doesn't do that, Kobe? Just because you're saying it is your thing. Regardless of what you think, Kobe gets a lot of crap from a lot of people, He even got it from Shaq, one of the most lovable guys in the league. But he is a dynamic figure in this league. He is Kobe Bryant. He's won championships. He's gone to all-star games. He's done a lot of damn things in this league that a lot of people haven't. And that's probably one of the biggest things. He's so damn good. And when basketball players know, that's why guys like Kevin Durant and Melo, they couldn't hate on Kobe when Kobe was at his prime. He was just so good. So what is the point? My point is, you don't have to love Kobe to admit that he's a dynamic figure in this league. So when Kobe comes out, the first game of the season, calls Dwight Howard soft on national television. This game was on ESPN. When he does that, was it on ESPN? No, it was on TNT, ESPN, whatever, regardless. National TV. Do you understand what the internet, the internet blew up, everything happened. So do you understand what that little thing did? It opened the floodgates to people calling Dwight Howard soft. And that's what they're doing when they're calling Dwight Howard a pussy. And if I'm Dwight Howard, okay, I'm so mad. You have to take out someone on the court. I don't condone that. I don't do that. But I also don't condone approaching huge-ass muscular men and calling them pussies. I don't condone that either. And I'm not big enough to the point where I can ever be in Dwight Howard's position unless I'm with elves or, midgets or something like that, Dwight Howard is in a position where he's the biggest guy in the room and he's not doing anything about it. He's getting picked on like he's the smallest guy, but he's huge and he's one of the best centers in this league. Let's admit it. And it might be getting to a point where he's going to have to do something. But I don't know. But if he did, he'd be just a villain just like that. Even more than he kind of is now because of his, his bad, disruptive exit out of Los Angeles. But let's talk about the people that are calling him pussies or a pussy. Kevin Durant. And a lot of people are going to say stuff about, oh, Kevin Durant, he was in his suit. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was the MVP of the freaking league last year. Kevin Durant, the MVP, the most valuable freaking player in the NBA last year, called Dwight Howard a pussy. That, in and of itself, wow, right? Wow. I just need to do a quick search. Kevin Durant did it. LaMarcus Aldridge. Okay, LaMarcus Aldridge was the last guy to call him a pussy. And it was after a late foul. And he's walking away, and he's just shaking his head. And he's just like, oh, LaMarcus Aldridge. And this is, let's not. I think there's some substance when I say this. When I'm saying, like, these are talented players that are doing this to Dwight. This isn't Smush Parker going to some blog online to saying, oh my God, it was so hard playing for Kobe Bryant. Like, it was so hard. Like, I don't know. Like, it was, he never passed me the ball and I just never felt loved. Like, that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is Kevin Durant and LaMarcus Aldridge, one of the most talented freaking big men, power forwards, players in the league, is also calling the guy a pussy. And there are so many different insults in the world that you can call Dwight Howard, and everyone is retorting to this one right now. And that's just how it is. And my argument is Kobe. If there's one thing, man, like Kobe, he is a dynamic player in this league, and you have to admit, he opened the floodgates with that one. He opened them up. Now, I spent way more time on that than I wanted to, but man, I just thought that was so funny. Like, Kobe really started this thing, man, where people are like, and it's important in my, I think it's important because these are good star players that are doing this. This isn't like Smush Parker. This isn't Steven Jackson. I'm not saying Steven Jackson was a bad player, but like, he was a notoriously known to say things that were a bit controversial or do things or step over boundaries that other people wouldn't. This isn't a person like that. This is a Kevin Durant who was trying to market himself as like the nicest guy in the league. He's calling someone a pussy. This is LaMarcus Aldridge, who's been, as, you know, I don't say this offensively, but as quiet and as calm of a star in this league as there's ever been. He's been so low-key, but so high-key on the court, you know? And he's calling Dwight Howard a pussy. And it's just like, is this the new sentiment now? And I think Dwight's going to have to do something. And I bring that up because the Lakers are playing the Houston Rockets tonight, or as we speak, or probably before, because you're probably listening to this after it's over. And hey, I can't predict the future, but I think the Lakers might lose. And if they don't, that's awesome. Like, honestly. Real quick, we have to talk about the game yesterday and kind of talk about what really went down and what happened. But I think one really important thing to point out is that someone came back. And it wasn't me. It was the return of the Lakers' savior. The return of the swag. Oh yeah, I know you like that. The thing is, I'm not even saying this in a joking way, but when Swaggy P, when Nick Young comes out and he says, I brought the swag back to the team, this and that, he's not lying. Now, I'm not telling you that swag is a statistic, but confidence is a factor. And one thing that this guy brings is a lot of confidence, and he brings a different personality that conflicts with Kobe's onto the team. And when he's making shots, guys on the bench are standing up. Guys are getting excited when he makes these step backs. And on a team that isn't really good anyway, why the hell do you care? Like, what is the point of anyone out there right now complaining about this Lakers team? That's why I'm not going to sit here and waste my time bashing on them. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time hating, destroying this roster because it's so, like, you can only describe this roster with negativity, with negative words, or like onomatopoeias, like, of people gagging. Except Kobe. Kobe's beautiful, and he always will be. But this team's pretty bad. Jeremy Lin's been kind of a disappointment this year. But, I'm not going to sit here and bash on the Lakers because everyone's doing that, and everyone is going to do that. And what's the point of bashing them and hating on them when you know that they're already pretty bad? So if anything we're going to do here is we're just going to talk about what's going on the court. We're going to say what's, we're going to actually see what they're doing. Let's see what kind of sets they're running. And what's getting kind of annoying is that the Lakers are running the same set. And it's not bad. It's the same set that they run for Kobe. It requires 3 players, someone on the high post, and then 2 players down, both on the wings in the corner 3 area. And one guy will set the pick for the other one. And one guy will come up, use that pick. And the guy who set that pick can either stay down in the low post and post up, or the guy who used that screen is going to be like open, and he could work it. He could run a pick and roll, yada, yada, yada. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. But they run that set a lot. Try to look out for that. It's usually on the right side of the court and facing like 2K vision on your Xboxes and PS3s. But yeah, what is the point of bashing on this Lakers team? What is the point of bashing on this 2-9 Lakers team? They're bad, we know. Let's talk about what can happen in the future. Let's talk about the interesting storylines that are going to come up. And you know what? If it comes down to it, I will bash on this team. But right now, I see no point in it. That is probably the biggest thing. I see no point in it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. I promise you next time we will talk about more of the Lakers, games. But, okay, before I go, Atlanta. What did they do against Atlanta? It was 114-109. Kobe Bryant wasn't even the leading scorer. He scored 28 points, but he shot like 10 for 18. Paul Millsap scored 29. He went off, and people are going to go off against these Lakers because they don't have bigs. They are the shortest by height. They're the shortest starting front court in the NBA. They average like 6'8", and that's what happens when you have Carlos Boozer and Jordan Hill as your 4 and 5s. Anyways, this was the return of Nick Young, Swaggy P. It was awesome. He shot like 6 for 10, if I recall, and he did what he did. He came out and scored. He provided the energy. But there's not much to talk about in any of these games because no matter what happens, the final solution or the final answer of all of these questions and of all of these, weird adventures we take is that the Lakers are bad. And this team is pretty bad. And this team is built to lose. And it's not built to win this year, and it's sad, it sucks, but you kind of have to hope because we're 2-9 anyway. As a Laker fan, you got to be rooting for them to get that top 5 protected spot, that top 5 protected pick that they gave away to Phoenix. We'll talk more next week or tomorrow if something crazy happens, but I warn you, if we talk tomorrow, we're not going to get to have these little fun things like, people going off or those, See you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening.